You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 111 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Brian Cameron alongside Morgan Burkett, and we have two very special guests with us today. We have Eagles Session himself, Gayle Saunders, and Philly Mike from the Philly Talk podcast. What's going on, guys?
Going great, man. Living the
Same
dream.
Here. Same here, right? Some time off, not really, but kind of.
I feel like I'm ready for in like 5 days.
Yeah, I feel that.
I blame you, Gayle.
Too much partying, man. You out here at MetLife acting like you own the parking lot.
Well, I think Eagle fans kind of did. According to E-Rock, I know you all close to, especially Gayle. They got red zone on Jets games. Hey, I could dig it.
It was interesting.
Jets fans are a little different than Giants fans.
They were chill.
You know, Jets. We had this Jets fan next to me. He was like, the Eagle fan was razzing him, and he was like, "Yo, man, as a Jets fan, we celebrate first downs like they were Super Bowl victories." And I felt that. Like I was like, bro, like I feel what you're saying, bro. And it was I felt bad for him, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, my brother's a Jets fan. I don't know how he fell that far from the tree. Why? You know what I mean?
Adopted, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I tell him all the time. It's like, bro, you know, I'm 30, he's 27. I'm like, you know, he had some of that, you know, butt fumble success when Mark Sanchez was taking him to AFC championships, but they never beat us and they ain't going to. So, you know, he was like, do I even watch the game? It was one of them. But the Jets fans are the Jets fans, you know, they don't got much to celebrate, as you said. First downs mean a lot.
Oh, they were going off though. That first drive, they were really giving it to us.
They were.
Yeah. I hate when the fans start staring at you, because you start getting this idea like every stadium is your stadium as an Eagle fan, because like we just take stuff over. So you roll up in there and then you see like an old head look at you like, and you're like, "What you looking at me for, bro?" Like after they get a first down, you're just like, "All right, see what happens."
It must be tough to see an old head Jets fan because you just know they've been through a lot. Like, you know what I mean? You always feel bad. It's like, damn, like I feel for you, you know? It's like at this point, I don't even want to like cheer in front of you. It's like, you know, it's rubbing it in a little bit. Like when your best days is Rex Ryan days, like I mean, that's tough.
I mean, the guys that were sitting in front of me and Brian were like in their like 60s.
Yeah,
and they're like, I remember when I was like 8 years old, like we won the Super Bowl with Namath, and we're gonna be back the next couple of years. Like I've been waiting since I was 8 years old, and I was like, man, I am depressed.
Yeah,
it's a long time coming. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation for them to be in, especially drafting so high this year. And with Zach Wilson, you got Robert Salah, who's supposed to be this defensive genius, and they didn't look so defensive on Sunday.
I mean, he felt like he had to be defensive to the referees, but that's the only defense I've seen. I see more of him on the field than some of their players. And what about CJ Mosley? Like, and I like the dude, right? But the comments after the game.
Yeah,
he was in his feelings, man.
But how do you deliberately lie? Because Fletch ain't stupid. He shouted out the tweets or the pictures on Instagram that he was shaking hands. So he showed like laughing and make fun of a organization like the Jets. Okay, I'll take that. Go ahead and do it. Right? They were in the second half. We turned up and they didn't do nothing. But to simply say, yeah, they didn't shake our hands when you know this world is 2021. There's cameras everywhere from fans to players. Bro, you straight up lied. Like, take the loss, bro.
Well, Mosley had a point where he completely went off on the defense, and I think it would have been on the it might have been on one of Miles Sanders runs or the Gainwell runs, but like one of them ran out of bounds, and he went to the defense like yelling and going at everybody after it, and it was just kind of like you saw like the frustration, and I think, you know, it sucks to be a Jets player and a fan. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's been part of some good defenses too, so I feel for him.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to feel like I was trying to get the camaraderie. Like what is it like to be like? Because like I've seen other fans come to our stadium and they're just like, yo, this is on another level here. Like it's just a different vibe that there. You know,
Mhm.
like even the tailgate scene is just not up to par at all.
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
definitely different.
Yeah.
It was dominated by Eagles tailgates. I mean, that's all you saw, literally, like for like a couple miles.
Yeah, I've only ever been to Eagle games, and I started late in my football life. But I definitely want to go. Take over some stadiums. I know especially my guy to my right, and you guys probably too. Y'all probably been a lot of places with like Philly sports travel and all that
Gale's about to
stuff.
mention my record.
I traveled. Well, again, I'm not that far. I'm about an hour away from the stadium, so I live in PA, just not Philly.
Hmm.
But I only make my trips to the link really.
Yeah, Brian's 2-0. He been like holding his chest up. He's like, I was like, yo, you got to come on another game. He's like, well, I'm trying to keep my record straight, undefeated. I was like, yo, Philly Mike, we got to get you down to a tailgate into a home game or a road trip.
Dude, it's definitely an
And
amazing.
Morgan, you too.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta make a
Make
trip.
sure you take your COVID test before you get over here. I know
Yeah,
it's
of course.
the
Bring
COVID
your
test
Tuca.
from Canada to come here is like what, 500? It's like $400, right? To come.
I mean, there's ways around it, but
Oh,
yeah.
this guy, Antonio
Back alley.
Brown.
Well, I mean,
right.
We're like up here where it's all double vax, but we still got to do the test and stuff like that. But man, I just seeing Brian, it was like, when you first take your kid to Disney and they're just smiling. It was just that kind of grin was on his face. Like it made me want to be there, Like it was.
I was
It looks like a good time, man.
I was running off 2 hours of sleep because I went out the night before to my mother-in-law's birthday party. It was at a club, so we got home at 3:30, and I wake up at 6:30 to drive to these guys, and then Gayle, I was a zombie. Like I didn't want to be bothered. I was still a little tipsy. I was just out of it. I didn't
look
want
at
to
him.
drink.
I'm like, I was like, you a morning person? You good? I'm like, you smell that pork roll, bro? You smell that? And he's just like, because I had 2 hours of sleep too, and I had to pick all y'all up, and I was like, I had to drop all y'all off, so I don't want to hear Jack.
Wait, but
okay?
you didn't want to go home. No, you
Jack.
can't do that. This guy did not want to go home until we cooked the steak, the $30 worth of steak.
Bro, I had steak, and
That's a
they're
fair
like,
point,
you
man.
guys want to sit? You guys want to sit in traffic for an hour? I'm like, no. I'm like, we're gonna kick this steak, and we're gonna have a good time, celebrate this victory. I was like, yo, life is short, man. These little moments, whether it be steak, beating up on the Jets, I don't care. It's a dub. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
Especially if
not
you're
true.
driving. If I'm driving, I'm cooking
And
three
you got-
steaks. I don't care. Yeah.
And you got free steak, free. It's free.
Did you cook the filet mignon? Did you end up cooking the filet mignon shish kebabs, whatever they were?
We took that home. We took that home.
Who's we?
I didn't get it. Prime got it.
Oh, Prime
You know what I mean? But my man's from Arizona that brought it. He was just like, yo, me and my wife, we totally forgot we left the filet mignon. Like, I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
He brought
bad,
steaks
bro.
from Arizona?
Well, he stayed in New York, so he
Okay.
brought him from like a New York. Shit was like $30
Yeah.
Those things
for
were
like
thick.
2 filet mignon shanks. Yeah,
Bro, they were thick.
Yeah.
I mean, up here, $30 a steak is like, that's like, a stewing beef. That's how much you're paying.
All right, so let's dive into it. I mean, we're here to talk about Eagles, the current state of the Eagles. We're heading into the bye week, coming off a win, but we have 4 crucial games going forward. We have Washington twice, we have the Giants, and then we have the Cowboys. Cowboys game could mean something or may not mean something. Depends on how we get there. So the question that's on everybody's mind, and I kind of, me and Gayle spoke about this multiple times. Morgan, we spoke about this as well. So I'm going to let Mike take the mic first. No pun intended. Last 4 games of the season. Is it all or nothing for Jalen Hurts in these final 4 games?
It looks like it. We're talking about the Eagles organization and their love affair with quarterbacks or trying to get the right one or having multiple in here. The compensation that we have going into 2022 is what will put the quarterback controversy or short-term success or failure big time, right? It will make it huge. And we saw ups and downs from Jalen Hurts, and what tastes in everybody's mouth is they beat down by the Giants. and a Gardner Minshew win against the Jets. I thought I saw some progression in Jalen Hurts' game in that 3-1 win streak, or 3 out of 4 win streak. Just little things, staying in the pocket, not hitting the panic button, the pass to Dallas Goedert, throwing with some anticipation. Now that kind of all went away in the Giants game, even though, I think the first interception had the snowball effect, and that was like legit PI. Like, I don't believe how they didn't throw that flag, but still, it's an interception on his record. This is big. We have a chance to get to the playoffs, whether people believe we're a playoff team or not. Jalen is the leader. Last game he played was a loss. Last time, another quarterback who nobody thinks is the full answer took care of business. And you got the whole fact that he's never beat a NFC East team, and he has a chance to try to throw away all narratives, right? He can play against the NFC East. He can win what is like a playoff game atmosphere, the biggest game of his career, because he's just coming off what I believe is the worst game of his career. So I think it's more about how this one starts, because he's been confident, right? For a young guy, he looks poised, but this could really knock anybody's confidence off. Losing another division game, kind of putting yourselves out the playoffs, while the last memory in his head was mustache mania. You know what I mean?
I feel like Gayle has something wild to just throw on the board right now. Like, he's really thinking hard over there. Yeah. You're making that $2,000 over there, bro.
I am thinking. But you go back to Jason Kelsey's. When he was talking about young players writing their own narratives. Like, you have this opportunity, right, to write this narrative. You can kill the noise. You can kill all the analysts, the fanalists, the pundits, you name it. These next 4 games, could really right the ship and get yourself into the playoffs if you ball out. And I think, obviously Minshew mania, Philadelphia, we can be some hype beasts out here. But I think, if it's anything, I'm glad that Minshew had that performance, because it's iron sharpens iron, right? Like, I want that competition to make him better. Like, I need him to watch that game tape and look how he hits the check down, or throws with anticipation, and the accuracy and just the poise. I need him to watch that and say, you know what, I'm just gonna be a better version of me next week. I'm gonna take this bye and get better. Like, if he was a quarterback and he started to body language and the concave chest and listen to Drake too much. I don't need you to be emotional. Like, I need you to stand tall, just like I need you to stand tall in the pocket and come back and really just kill the noise, man. I think he's a leader. And there's one thing that we might, as much as we talk about his passing ability having some issues, but there's things that Jalen Hurts does that a lot of other quarterbacks can't do. So we just need him to get better as a passer and work on the accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this question comes up now, right? Now that we've seen Minshew and got to win. Like, if that game goes any different or we never see Minshew, I don't think it's as pressing. I think the whole time we've said this is an evaluation for Jalen Hurts. And it's maybe a bit of a cop-out, but I don't really think it's his position to lose at this point. He's got 4 games left. You're always going to be judged about how you do in your division. But if we're going into these 4 games and putting it all on Jalen Hurts and saying he's going to be the reason we win or fail, I don't think that's good game planning on Sirianni's part, and I don't think that's how you win this division. So I think if he's going out there and he's making massive mistakes and he's going, okay, like, you got to throw checkdowns, you got to throw screens, and he's messing that up, okay, then we have a massive problem. But I really don't think he will. I don't think that in these games he has to make any major plays. Like, again, watching Minshew's success is great, but did he make any throws that Jalen Hurts can't make? Absolutely not. Those 2 touchdowns to Goddard, both of them were underthrown. It was game planning, it was scheme that won that game. Sirianni came in with a great offensive scheme. He knew he was going to run the ball. He knew he was going to use Goddard early and often, and that works. And that's what Philly's about, and that's what they should be about for the next 4 games. So if they can do that and Jalen Hurts throws, 20 passes and completes most of them and doesn't make any major mistakes, and then does what we know he can do on the run, I don't see why this is, all or nothing for him. I think that the team's still better off going into the next season building around the defense. That's what almost gave the Jets a chance. Like, it's scary to think that the Jets looked good against this defense, right? So, like, if you're going into the draft, you're going, hey, should we get a quarterback? I mean, Bryan, we've been back and forth about it forever. Like, is there a quarterback in this draft that's even worth, the pick? I don't think so. So I think regardless of how he does, unless it's like, a complete 180 and he's the Giants game for the rest of the season, I think he's done enough. And I think that Sirianni's proven that we can win without fantastic quarterback play. So we need him to be good. We need him to be solid. Like Gayle was saying, stand up in the pocket, make those checkdowns, make those reads. And then like Mike was saying, it's really about like the timing. Get the ball out early. You don't need him to be holding onto the ball to win these games. And yeah, I just feel like he doesn't need to be that great quarterback for these last 4 games to be competitive.
You know what you're doing to me. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're going to be on the other side of it. You have to be.
I have to be, unfortunately. So at the game, I was talking. Gayle could attest to it. I was stat checking heavy. Gardner Minshew, 11 for 12 to end the first half. Is Gardner Minshew the second coming of Nick Foles? No, absolutely not. But Gardner Minshew is a very competent quarterback who knows how to play towards his strengths. Jalen Hurts is also a competent quarterback who knows how to play towards his strengths. His strengths, obviously is running. His strength is, his capability. My issue with Jalen is, as a player, like I'm pretty sure we've all played sports, high school, junior high, whatever case may be. You're supposed to get better over time, over games. The more games you play, the more, it's repetition. The more you practice, the better you get. And I agree with Mike. We saw the progression in that 3-1, time period. We saw him doing well. But for some reason, we saw a blunder against the Giants, even though I don't think the interceptions was so much his fault, because we saw the defensive player roll over Boston Scott. We saw Quez get held up. But my thing with Jalen is, like, he looks rattled so many times in the pocket, and that bothers me. That makes me feel like my quarterback feels a little insecure. He doesn't trust his throw into his arm. He doesn't trust his mechanics, and he's going to do what he does best. Now, unfortunately, what he does best doesn't correspond to what the owner wants. Jeffrey Lurie is an analytical guy. He wants the numbers for the quarterback. He wants his quarterback to have these wild numbers. About a year ago, Chris had a source who was telling us information that Lurie was very obsessed with Carson Wentz having the QB numbers, win or lose. He wanted Carson Wentz to be throwing over 200-something yards with the touchdown numbers. He wanted, that version of a Philly quarterback. We didn't get that. We're not getting that at Jalen right now. Does Jalen have the potential to be a great quarterback? I absolutely believe so. But the issue at hand is it's Philly. We expect greatness the moment you touch the field. We've expected greatness from Miles Sanders. We've expected greatness from Jalen Reagor. And look how that's turned out. Nelson Aguilar, look how that turned out. There's too much pressure in this city for anybody to be patient with Jalen Hurts. Now, you have a great point. No quarterback in his draft is better than Jalen Hurts. Unfortunately, there's a quarterback out there that is better than Jalen Hurts. And that is the apple of Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie's eyes. They missed out on Russell Wilson. That was a big thing. They've compared everybody to Russell Wilson. They wanted their own Russell Wilson. What's better than having your own Russell Wilson outside of having Russell Wilson? Like, you have the opportunity this offseason. You have the capital to make it happen. Now, Gardner Minshew proved he could be a good backup quarterback for us. That's great. But if we're going to win now, if we're going to get the best out of Devontae Smith or the best out of Dallas Goedert, if we're going to get the best out of Miles Sanders, I saw a wild post on Instagram where people feel like, it was a take saying that unintentionally, Jalen Hurts kind of hurts Miles Sanders' game because you have now a defensive player playing QB spy every time the RPO is out there. And, Miles loves to bounce in and out of the line. He loves to, we saw on Sunday, like, the kid is shifty as hell. We know that's his game. With Jalen Hurts out there, it limits that because you have that extra defender waiting for Miles on the outside. So it's possible that this offense can be better with a player like Russell Wilson, a player like even Kenny Pickett, like somebody that's a traditional quarterback. But in my opinion, Jalen Hurts can be a great player. But it all depends on how much he starts to trust himself in the pocket.
I would just want to counter that. You know, I mean, I think a spy is to look for Jalen, of course, and he'll get Miles if the ball's handed to him. But it only takes a half of a quarter of football with you running successfully before they put that 8 or 9 guy in the box, regardless if you have Tom Brady back there, right? It's as simple as that. There's just some teams that can't match up. And even if you put 8 or 9 guys in the box, you're just bigger, better, right? I'm just going to beat you. You can't stop it, right? You go into playing against Derrick Henry, they're automatically starting the game out first possession with 3 spies, not for Tannehill, all for Henry. Now, Miles is a different guy. He wants to dance around a little bit, even though he's being more decisive, hitting the holes, which I like.
Yeah.
I think the play of Hurts has been unnoticed when we go under center, right? I think he's thrown from that better. And I think what he's done in Oklahoma and the fact that people categorize a Russian quarterback automatically RPO specialist has hurt him and his progression, because we cannot lie that the first time we saw a game where he went under center more than 3 times was against the Raiders. And we saw the game plan come out that fit both Jalen and Miles before he got hurt. Miles was killing it, right? And then he got hurt. And what happened? We got out of the thing. We played Boston Scott. Kenny G fumbled that game and he got banished for a while. But we saw Jalen Hurts little by little, Lions, Chargers, Broncos, Saints play under center. And I think we avoided that against the Giants. I don't necessarily think the play call was bad, because when you look at the box score, oh, snap, 31 passes, 33 runs. That's as balanced as you can get. But if you look at the sequence,
is Jalen the issue in that regard? My question, because you said the play calling you don't think was bad, but so is Jalen the issue in that regard because of the decision making he's that's happening right now?
Well, the 3 picks definitely stopped us because 3 times we got in their territory, so the ball was moving. But my whole take is, we didn't really move the ball and do anything successfully into the second half. And I think the first half was super heavy pass that if you look at the box score and didn't watch the game, you're like, stop crying, Eagle fans. It's balance. But I think the sequence was pass, run. Then at the end of the second half was run, pass. I think when Jalen Hurts gets a balance or semi-balance pass run ratio per drive is when the legs kick in, the play action kicks in, Dallas Goedert is open, and things of that sort. That doesn't change the fact that he has to be able to read the field better pre-snap and post-snap. And I do agree the panic button gets hit too much, whether it's his, I don't know about the offensive line. I don't know about myself. I can't make that throw. But what I can do is, I can run. And so that is something you got to just shake out of him, right? It's not going to be over day. Jalen Hurts has been using his legs his whole life, right? People say if you didn't play quarterback good in high school and college, you can never play good football in the pros. That's a lie, right? Certain things, you don't have a big arm, you're not going to grow an arm, but tendencies, accuracy, all that stuff can be mechanically taught, right? But when you were playing football for 10 years and your second read is your legs because nobody can stop you, the NFL is a different animal and it humbles. And so I just think that Jalen Hurts is not going to wake up overnight better, but it's a slow grind. But as you all said, it's Philadelphia. And if we didn't have 3 first-round picks, maybe we're stuck with him, and then it's just the Gardner Minshew versus this. I just think that Jalen Hurts is getting an unfair chance, but this is Philly. Who are we to try to change our minds? I'm definitely a Hurts believer, but like games that I see, like you said, the Giants games, I'm not a blind to it by any means. You know what I mean?
Well, I think to me, at least his best game was the Chargers. Even though we lost that game, like the poise that he stood in the pocket with, like the fact that he was nailing his passes, the fact that he actually did everything he was supposed to do. The defense lost that game. Like that was phenomenal to me. But how many of those games have we had?
Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Saints, maybe Lions. The Lions was his lowest thrown, but he had a couple, right? The Chiefs game, right? It was a 2-point ball game at halftime. He was going neck to neck with Mahomes. The fact of the matter is we were settling for field goals. Mahomes was getting touchdowns. We both didn't punt that game, but Mahomes didn't punt with 7s and we didn't punt with 3s. But we can't forget how many touchdowns have been called back from illegal pigs and drops and stuff like that. But you put that in to help his stats, but you also can factor in, Jalen Hurts had some, crazy ones that he got away with as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Yeah, I just think this. They
Yeah, both
No, go
thinking,
ahead.
huh?
No, I just think that the team has to really set him up for success. I mean, the early in the season, you fans are just looking at the situation like, what are they doing? Like this what you're doing doesn't look like it's helping Jalen. Like we're talking about a guy who needs to, flourish with a running game. Like that's how you set him up with success, play action. We just didn't see that early on. And we're like, what are you guys doing? Like you guys are setting him up for failure versus success. And that's to me, it took a while before they finally got their shit together. So I'm still wondering where the front office stands, because I feel like, them sniffing around Deshaun Watson and this is all this stuff is true, man. Like, I mean, if Deshaun's legal stuff was handled and the trade clause was waived, it could be a whole different scene in here. So, I mean,
Could have been a done deal.
I think there's a war. A lot of things are going on behind the scenes, but I feel like, again, Jalen has this opportunity to really right the ship the next 4 weeks, man. So, I mean, like he can get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of you guys make really good points. I think with Mike saying is that, there's this assumption of what Jalen Hurts does. And I think coming into the season, we've talked about this, Brian, is, Sirianni came in, was pitched the idea that, Carson Wentz would be the quarterback and that they wanted everything tailored to Carson Wentz. And then for the first, 7 weeks, we saw an offense that I think Sirianni thought was tailored to Jalen Hurts. And I think the problem is you have a guy here who's a bit more of a unmolded clay type, right? You need to show him what he can do. And then you have this game against the Jets. Now it's against the Jets, right? We can't look into it too much. But we have this game where Sirianni goes, okay, screw this. Like, I'm going to run my offense. I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to do what I do well. They ran a lot of creative runs. They had the screens in there that we know he loves. And then they had some really creative play action from, under center, under gun. Like, they moved him around. And I think that was the first game, and maybe not the first game, but the first entire game where we saw, okay, this is Sirianni's offense, if nothing else, right? Who cares if, it's Hurts or it's Minshew or whatever it was under center. But he said, okay, I don't have my starting quarterback. This is going to be my offense. And, I think what Gayle's saying is true is like, they're not really setting Jalen Hurts up for success. And I think a lot of that is with how games are phrased. And we talked about this too, Brian, when they went into the Cowboys game and before the game, they're saying, okay, this is going to be a shootout. This is going to be a blowout. Like, you're going to have to pass the ball. Right. And that's not a benefit at all to your young quarterback who's got the world on his shoulders. We know what it's like playing in Philly and you're playing Dallas, and you're going, okay, this is going to be a shootout. You got to score touchdowns. Like, that's no benefit to your quarterback at all. Mm-hmm. And now we see as the season goes on, they're going, okay, well, like, let's dial it back. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can bring to the table. And I don't think that's an indictment of Jalen Hurts. I think that's Nick Sirianni finding out what offense he wants to run. Like, before the season, we knew what he was going to bring. He's going to bring a creative run scheme. He's going to bring timing passes, right? He's going to spread defenses out laterally and then hit, big plays here and there. And then you got a quarterback with Jalen Hurts. He's like, that's not really what he does. And so the offense went out the window and he's like, how do I tailor this to Jalen Hurts? And now we're starting to see, okay, the creative runs are back. We've been running the football fantastic over the last couple of weeks. We saw Minshew in there. There's more screens to Dallas Goedert. There's more crossing routes. And then they hit a couple deep balls where, Dallas Goedert's wide open. I know he's a good route runner, but that's a scheme play. That's schemed open. They know what they're going to get. Mm-hmm. So I think again, we're talking about the next 4 games, but I just think in general, what's more important is we see Sirianni continue to develop and show what his offense can do. Because Hurts has so many talents. He can fit whatever offense you want to run. Right? Like, he can eventually learn how to, like Mike's saying, like, you can teach that guy how to sit in the pocket and deliver those throws. The problem is when you're saying, hey, if no one's open on your first read run, he's not going to learn how to sit in the pocket. And I think there was a lot of that going on early in the season. They're like, this is what you can do. So if you don't see your first read open, run. That's not going to develop a quarterback.
So what needs to happen?
My thing with
– go ahead. Go ahead, Miguel.
My thing with the Hurts is like I need him to get stronger between the second and third read. Like we know, between the first and second, when you get to the second and third, like that's where I need you to start winning. You know what I mean?
And we kind of saw that with Gardner Minshew, where we talked about during the game where he held the ball until somebody was open, whether it was underthrown or not. Like that was his bread and butter of the game. But my thing is, what needs to happen over the course of the next 4 games for anybody to say Hurts is going to be here next year no matter what, and he's going to start. My opinion, like it doesn't matter if you reach playoffs or not. If you go 2-4 for the next 4 games, and you show that you're progressing, you're showing that you can stand in the pocket, go through your reads, like just trust yourself. That's all I want from him. You just trust who you are. Be the best version of you that you can possibly be for this team, and sell yourself to the front office. I think Jalen's here next year because like I've told Morgan multiple times, I love the potential of Jalen. I love the idea of Jalen. Like to have this kid, a second round pick to show the world that he can actually be one of the top, quarterbacks in the league, to me is big. And I do think they should go the Dak Prescott route where have him be a game manager and, let him progress. But it's been shaky this season. It's been up and down. We've seen shootouts, which I personally feel like against the Giants, they brought that same mentality for some weird reason where they want to treat it like a shootout because they feel like they could pick on the Giants. If he goes 2-4 the next 4 games and you're seeing a lack of, mistakes, you're seeing a lack of players not getting the ball. Like we haven't seen Devontae Smith really, go off per se. We haven't seen that connection really brew into something that's special that's supposed to be. We've seen Dallas Goedert go for no passes in a game. Like you have weapons. You don't have to be the ultimate weapon. You just got to be the guy distributing. You got to be the point guard. That's all. To me, 2-4 next 4 games, miss playoffs. I'm fine with it.
Fine with it.
Hey, listen, I would love to see playoff football, but I want to be realistic right now. Like
on a Jalen Hurts standpoint, not on a Philadelphia Eagle fan
Yeah,
standpoint. Ain't no
exactly.
fine with missing the playoffs when you get this close.
I really think we do have playoff football against Washington. It's like if you lose, I'm not going to speak that into existence when they win. But I'm just saying that's playoff football right there. Like I feel like it's really important. Like I've been telling everyone, like, yo, get your butt down there, man. Like this is gonna be one of the biggest games of Jalen's career. This is a conference game. NFC East game. This is huge. Well, it feels like Washington's kind of beating their own chest. Their fans think.
They think they're unstoppable.
They want Dallas. Like, be careful. What you wish for. I dislike Dallas more than anyone, but I think that team is decent, and I think Washington on their high horse, it's easy for us to catch them slipping. I think the Giants was a legit trap game, right? It felt that way the whole time because no matter how bad we played, I do the live play-by-plays, and I'm telling people, like, bro, we're not losing this game. The Giants, and for us to play that bad and still have a fumble from Scott, get the ball back, and have 2 touchdowns dropped, whether one was hard or not, one was easy or not. Most games when that ball's fumbled by Scott, it's over. You don't get it back, right? But there's the Giants giving us the ball. So I think, that loss for everybody else on the team is also what made him come out and play a decent brand of football, right? Dallas Goedert got the bag, and he wants to show something. I think Devontae Smith not being used by Gardner is one of the same knocks that Jalen Hurts was getting, right? He's always open. If you get all these, and shout out to Thomas Peterson, I think, on Twitter. You know what I mean? Everybody on my channel comes in there and tells me Jalen stinks because of that guy. You know what I mean? I had conversations with him. We're cool and all that. But I was like, yo, use a little context a little bit, because I think sometimes he says, look, Smith it's not really on the Jalen tape when he does a Devontae Smith tape and he says, look, Devontae won his route. But when he won his route, Jalen was already making another decision. So you just got to count that in for the people who just listen. Your word is your bond, right? I can say a lot of dumb stuff that people might repeat just because I have a decent following. So just say, yeah, Devontae won his route, but Jalen already made a decision whether it was right or wrong. But they bring that over to here. He's always open, and he is. Jalen Hurts does miss reads. Every quarterback does. He's missing them more as a young quarterback. But it really does come 23, right? It's crazy. Pickett is already 24, right? He's already a year ahead, even though that was a nice fake slide, even though I think that should be illegal. That's wild.
Oh yeah, I got
That was-
mad at that, man.
That was a savage move, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It was savage, but it got to be legal, like, because the way they baby the
You're just-
quarterbacks, they pulling up like, no way,
Yeah,
no
they're like,
how.
no. He's like, and you see him run by.
But y'all right, especially Gayle. This is a playoff game, and he started out this whole episode as, Jason Kelsey saying silence the critics. Jason Kelsey told Ben Simmons to do it, and he's low key telling Jalen Hurts to do it. Right? This kid is beyond his years in wisdom, and he's Alabama product, right? Nick Saban. You hear him talk his press conference, you think this team is like 8 and I'm the opposite. We're above 500 and everything. It's just up to him to go show it. Watching Gardner Minshew, and people say, I said this, and they say, well, right there shows he's a backup. If he has to learn from Gardner, this is a young kid. We want to know if his upside is going to be hit, right? As he sits right now, he's not a finished product. If you tell me this is what we're getting forever, no, you got to move on. This is based off what you think his potential can be. And again, these 4 games are important. I think you got to go 3-1 and give yourself a chance for the playoffs to really solidify yourself being here. I think the defense being as holy as it is, and even going to get holier because all the 1-year contracts are up in the air. You got a lot of old guys. Some of these old guys retire. Our defensive line is no longer here. And I don't remember not having a D-line, and I'm only because I'm 30. So you got a lot of holes to fill to use it all on a quarterback, whether it's Russ, whether it's one of these draftees, because look at our drafts, right? We're outside. All of them are going to be outside the top 10, right? We're playing better football. Miami turned up. And I made a video on this like 2 weeks ago. People were like, nah, Miami not going to be that good. Yeah, they were. It comes down to, you might have to give up 2 of your picks to get in somewhere to even get that one quarterback that you're not sure, the same way you're unsure with Jalen. We drafted him. Let's try to develop him, right? It's not like it's year 3 and he's still doing this. So nobody really want to hear that, because we do have some players who are aging and they want to see if we can make some moves, but it is what it is. And Russell Wilson, I'm not saying he's fully declined, but there's some talent on Seattle, right? Not the most, but if our team is, just to say, take Jalen Hurts away, take Russell Wilson away. If you look at the teams and you don't think we're tremendously better, what if
we're miles apart better.
Offensive line.
Offensive line. I mean, that's the key thing.
Where
Russell
else?
has never had.
Where else?
Tight end.
Why you tempting me, man? Running back. Why you tempting me, Mike?
Running back.
Running back.
Running
They
back.
don't got
D-line.
it. They just signed AP. I'll give you that. What if we don't? What if we don't sign Miles back? Right? What if we let Miles go? Right? Say they decide not to.
You can't sleep
They
on him,
gonna let Miles walk.
Come on, Gayle. Come on. You're on my podcast.
I'm just
Don't
saying
say that, bro.
I was having this conversation yesterday, just on some random ish, and I was just like, the way it's set up, I'm like, you
don't
see
think he'll get
Gainwell
cheap-
doing,
They get him on the cheap.
Yeah, but
think
like,
so.
Yeah,
I'm with
he
you,
hasn't
Brian.
done
They get him on the
that.
cheap to lock him up.
Yeah, he wants
I'm
to,
just saying.
he's a team guy. Like,
I think some team swoops in and offers him a lot of money, and the Eagles aren't going to match that.
that'll be the worst move of his career. I'm gonna call
What
it.
if he doesn't play what if he only plays one more game the rest of the season? You think a team's gonna pay him then? I think we would, because it's like, definitely give us a team discount. You we didn't use you at time. It's definitely a sticky situation the way the running back's going. But I'll give you that, right? So say we're a little bit better than Seattle all around. Not wide receiver. I don't know, but you go. I think Slay's legit. I think he's making a point for a Pro Bowl.
Savage.
But
Been
Ronnie
playing
McLeod
well.
hasn't been doing that good. Steven Nelson, our linebackers, even though TJ Edwards is doing some stuff, I don't think we're that far ahead of Seattle all around. In the trenches on offense line, yeah, but can we stay healthy? We're doing it now. Knock on wood, but we're hearing the chatters. Jason Kelsey's almost out the door. How long do you got with Russell, right? He's not the Aaron Rodgers. He's not Tom Brady, and the fact that he's been hit a lot more, and he's mobile quarterbacks, whether they don't get hit or not, they just tend to age different. We haven't seen a guy who has rushing ability do it, right? Phillip Rivers, he played long, statue, or he doesn't really move. They move in the pocket. Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and you could say Aaron Rodgers is a little older, right? We haven't seen this new breed go longer, and it's just funny that he's having a horrible year because Deshaun Watson played with the Texans, who had an all-around horrible team, and they only won 4 games last year, right? Deshaun Watson's team won 4 games, but if you hold his stats up, there's not a quarterback that there's not you can't name 4 quarterbacks with better stats. So you can still get your numbers and look good with a bad team. Right?
But my thing is like, right, you go to the offseason, you have all this capital, you have everything, you have the cap space. Do you, and like I said, I love Jalen's upside. To me, like Jalen's upside is like it's if he hits that ceiling, like we'll be talking. Damn, like we were forced to, we were forced to question the kid. Like that's what we talking about in the next couple of years. But how risky is it going into this offseason, still uncertain about Hurts, knowing that you have a Russell Wilson, a Deshaun Watson, even though Watson has his issues, knowing you have these guys available, do you honestly risk another year of bad, like of possible bad football, not reaching playoffs, not reaching Super Bowl? Let's start like that's what I'm calling it. Do you risk that? Like, do you honestly say like, yeah, Jalen, let's just see what he has again? Like, how risky is that in Philly right now?
I don't think it's risky. I think it's an opportunity to again grow and develop. Like if we saw Dak Prescott in his like earlier years, you would laugh at the comparison between Wentz and Dak. But Dak's leadership, his ability to have the team, rally around him with a pocket full of shells and go out there and play for him. Like we can't diminish what he does for his team. When you saw the minute Hurts came in last year and the whole team just flipped the switch. Like there's certain players that can flip a switch for a team, and you're hoping that he develops like it's funny to say develop like a Dak. Like he got better with time. I'm not gonna say he's all world or anything, but I feel like
he's pretty damn.
If you're gonna allow him to grow, it's not a bad thing. You get some defensive picks in here, lock up this defense back end, and now we're balling. We're getting guys growing together. Quez, Devontae. It's another year to develop. I don't know about Rager. You bring in a Chris Godwin maybe from the Delaware area, So I mean, that would be nice.
Hey Brian, let me ask you a quick or Morgan, if you're on it. I know you're more of the Russ guy. I mean the Hurts guy. What do you think we have to give up to get Russ? Like, give me your take, like realistic thing that will pull him away, right? Because Pete Carroll, if you read any Seattle Seahawks bloggers and people trying to start Rumorville, right? Pete Carroll, if parts of him, he wants another quarterback. He wants a decent pick, a higher pick to really get that quarterback. So I think you got to give some stuff.
Yeah, I think it's 3 firsts.
You think it's all 3? Nah.
Yeah,
I say 2 firsts.
Yeah, I think it's 2 firsts and a future
and some change.
It's gonna cost Hurts. I bet you that much.
Yeah, they'll package Hurts with it.
Yeah, and the third.
See, I don't know about that. See, I think if you give him 2 firsts this year and then a future first, you can keep Hurts. I don't know why you keep Hurts at that point, but I feel like you could.
You can't trust Morgan. I'm gonna tell you why. Morgan has manipulated me for the whole season. This whole good cop, bad cop thing, bro. I've been a sucker for it. I was for Hurts. I was against Hurts. I was for Hurts. I was against Hurts. I lost my hair this season because of Morgan. I used to have a nice shape up and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do up here. Up north, we play mind games. We don't play football. We play mind games.
And y'all wear tooks.
Yeah, exactly. Word of the day, fellas. If fellas in the chat, there's a toque.
So, all right. Are we good? Are we done with Jalen Hurts? Do we feel good about it?
Yeah, it's never gonna end, man. Like
it's not.
We're gonna go into next year and like this can be week 1. Be like, is Hurts the guy? I don't know, man.
But our front offices, as long as Howie's here, I've heard from players that said that they're so hands-on. I've never seen more hands-on GM or owner in their careers, like free agent guys that have come in here. And it's just a thing. Like, they're very involved. It's not just a Sirianni thing. They got the hooks in them. So it's like they got more control than you think they do. And it's just like, I don't know, man, the way Howie's been moving. I just think Jalen's he's going up against a lot of, variables. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we spoke about Hurts. We spoke a little bit about Miles Sanders as well, which was our second question. So I'm glad we covered that. The next question, though, and I'm pretty sure Morgan's gonna love this one. Is it Gannon or the personnel that are causing these defensive woes?
All right. And I want to preface this too, because I understand that Gannon's been bad and he's been really bad. And the play calling, the creativity's not there. We've seen glimpses of like certain games, but my point is, you get rid of Gannon, I don't know if this defense is any better. I think there's a lot of holes that we got to cover. Like, I don't know that just getting rid of him and going, hey, let's bring in a new guy is like the immediate fix. Like, bring Jim Schwartz back. Is this defense better? Like stuff like that, right? So I don't think you can just, plug in a coach. I feel like you got a long way to go with this defense. Like, the defensive line, as talented as they are, haven't been as good as they should be this year. We saw a little bit from Javon Hargrave early on, and then like he's been, he's a good player, right? Has he been the player that we saw in the first couple of weeks? No. Fletch has, been good, been off, right? We saw a lot of good things from Josh Sweat. And secondary, man, it's Darius Slay. I know we've had some good games from Steven Nelson, but I don't want him back next year. Like, has he earned his keep? Rodney McLeod, Mike said it, kind of off. We're playing Marcus Epps. I mean, Marcus Epps second best in the league with PFF against the run. That's not Marcus. I don't know where that came from, but he's not your number two safety going forward. Kayvon Wallace,
whatever happened to
him, right? So like, I just feel like this defense is, it's not all on Gannon.
I agree with that, because I'm just saying, like, the linebackers, the middle of the field is pretty much, I've been calling it 7-11 because that shit is always open. Like the safeties, the linebackers, like if you've seen our defense against any talented elite quarterback, they've got they watch Brady, they watch all the elite quarterbacks. They gave you all the answers to the test, and everyone was running the same to carve this up. Even the younger up and coming quarterbacks were carving this up. So it's until you get superb elite safety play or standard linebacker play in space, then I mean it's the same continued thing is going to be happening. So I mean, I just think you need to bring in some players, man. You just can't neglect a position for this long. I know, again, Rodney McLeod coming off of ACL.
Mm-hmm.
We have Harris coming on his first year here with us. We've got younger guys that are developing, but are they really guys that you could? I mean, they're not no Hamiltons. They're not like you want to have a guy back there. So I mean, I think you hit the draft and start bringing in some real nice pieces in the middle. I mean, do our linebackers fill consistently?
TJ Edwards has been actually. I mean, he's
huge problem against the Jets. Huge problem against the Jets. They ran that inside zone over and over again because the linebackers weren't filling.
Yeah, well, TJ wasn't good that game.
I like my tasty cakes with filling. Okay, and I like my linebackers.
Also, please, whatever football gods there are, Kyle Hamilton, please. He's not going to fall, but
he's definitely not falling to like 13 or anything of that sort.
I mean, we thought CD wasn't going to fall, and CD fell. So
true that.
That's a sore subject. That's a very sore subject because Jalen Reagor is still here. We cannot talk about that on this podcast right now.
You a little hurt. You're in your feels, huh?
Well, I'm butthurt over that. You're damn right. How do you not trade? Okay. How do you not trade with Atlanta and jump the Cowboys?
The reports were though that he tried, right? I could have sworn.
Didn't they want a second? Enough. Did they want a second? Right?
Give him the damn second. It's CD Lamb.
Well, that second, the second would have been Jalen Hurts.
Give him the damn second. We need to see
I mean, I would have gave up the pick. I would have gave up the pick. But
that means maybe Carson and CeeDee Lamb here, depending on I don't like to bring that name up too much. That's why I didn't really go his last name. But to answer your question real quick, look, personnel is not perfect, but I mean, the scheme doesn't help at all. I'm not in the.
What is the scheme?
Well, according to JG, there's no scheme, and he didn't even have a dime package, and so everybody called him out like, all right, well, let me go get one real quick, even though we don't.
Cover two and the corner start 10 yards back, and you say,
you need two TV screens. You need a hook on the extra monitor to see
TV screens.
You need a hook
our safeties are in China, and then our linebackers are like, it's like, bro, can you move on up because our linebackers. The way our linebackers are set up.
I mean, to be fair, he said, I'm going to scheme to what our players do well, and those linebackers don't do anything well. So he says, well, we're not going to have them do anything then.
Well,
So
let
there
me
you
just
go.
say this. Early on, I thought that the scheme he's playing, right? Not necessarily a name of it, but what I've watched and try to break down any tape I can, he puts too much responsibility on what we call the weakest part of our team, the linebacker, right? When it was Eric Wilson and Alex Singleton as the 1-2 punch, they were asked to do too much, right? Look at the teams that came in and just did it exactly opposite of what they want to do because we were that predictable, right? Dallas, they want to get deep. Chiefs, they want to get deep. The Raiders are the number one deep team in this league in this year, and we played them. I don't know. I forgot if it was with Henry Ruggs or not. But they're the number one deep team.
It was with
Tampa.
It was before the incident, right? It was before the incident.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, they want to get deep. All them teams that want to get deep legitly did the exact opposite, and we did not adjust at all. You know, we go talk, shout out to LB. We joke around about that he becomes a fan when he watches a C plus or better quarterback, right? When he's watching any of the C plus or better, think about it, right? When we played Jimmy G, the defensive scheme was pretty decent, right? When we played Zach Wilson in the second half, he adjusted. It was pretty good. When we played Sam Darnold, it was pretty good. When we played Teddy Bridgewater, it was pretty good. When we played Trevor Siemian, it was pretty good. When we played Jared Goff, it was pretty good. Now, these are bad teams, but you just seen difference. You saw Slay follow DJ Moore. You saw Slay follow Elijah Moore in the second half. You saw Slay do different things under JG against these teams. You didn't really see Derek Barnett and Fletcher Cox dropping back in coverage against running backs against the bad quarterbacks, but you see him do it in Tampa, you see him do it in Oakland or Las Vegas, right? And Derek Carr deserves to be C plus or better. He's having a great year. But it's crazy that you can pinpoint. The fact of the matter is Matt Ryan too. He's a little bit over the hill. Any quarterback that you can say C plus or less, not only do we play good defense against them, it was a different brand. And so I just don't understand why it takes them so long. And nobody wants to get beat over the top because we saw that a lot. But death by 1,000 cuts, it ain't any better. And I think the most demoralizing thing in football is to watch a team score a touchdown and then look back and say, dang, 7 minutes? Because not only do you let 7 points up, you got less chance to come back. So when we used to get beat with a 60-yard bomb, it hurt, but it left time on the board to go out and do something, right? Now we're getting beat and we can't stop the bleeding. And I think he's been, and it's crazy because when the press, like the beat writers, ask him about why you didn't do this, well, the next game he does it, right? It's like he's hearing what we say or what the beat writers say, and then he's doing it. And it's crazy how it applies because there was a couple games where I gave him credit. And so it's not all on him, but you know, if we're just going to get great personnel in here, well, then guess you know what? We don't need a DC because they're going to say man up and win, right? When you got the Legion of Boom, you don't have to play too many. You don't have to disguise much, right? You just win. You got Richard over here. Maxwell wasn't trash well when he was playing in Seattle. I don't know how that happened, right? But you have Cam Chandler. You got Bobby Wagner. You got Michael Bennett. You got Earl Thomas. Just go. No one's going to beat them straight up. So I just think you need to have some type of scheme. And I think guys just run wide open and, you know, too many. And there's a lot of newness. So I'm not with getting rid of him. But if there's somebody on the staff that I'm the most upset with is JG. You know, Nick Sirianni at least showed that, you know, fool me once, shame on me, or whatever that saying is, because he did change. JG's just like, bro, how good are you at quarterback? I'm going to back off. Do what you want.
Would you guys give any fault to, like, you know, the guy Howie Roseman, who's supposed to bring in some, you know, some talent in here, and then one of the free agent linebackers he does bring in here is not even no longer on his team. So it's like at one point you look at
row, right?
Huh?
That's the second year in a row, right? They did that to LJ Ford.
Yeah. So it's like you're talking about a guy that's, you know, if he's not bringing in the talent for you to work with, and then your players are getting exposed, and you still have to, like, again, first year defensive coordinator is one thing, but then I think Howie's got to get him some talent. But if it's one scapegoat, I think they could look again and be like, all right, we'll bring someone else in here, because it would be nice if you had a veteran defensive coordinator with a rookie, head coach. Like the fact that they brought in two rookie,
but they did that
defensive
before,
coordinator.
with
I wouldn't have done that.
So
Well,
they
no,
did that
Jim Schwartz was an ex-head coach,
and Peterson
Lions,
wasn't.
and they did that before. That's crazy. They got the DC before the head coach. That's how you knew they brought that veteran dude in here. I ain't mad at that. I just got to say this one thing. The crazy part is JG came highly recommended, right?
Yeah.
There were
Yeah,
teams
he was
that
the
were
buzz
lining
all
up to
camp
get
long.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, playing devil's advocate. I mean, I know his shortcomings. Like, it's not
You
a
see,
good
man, you always
defense.
manipulating
It's
somebody.
not a
It's
good
good
scheme.
cop, bad cop stuff.
Yeah, of course, that's what I do.
Falling for the
That's
damn tricks all the
but-
time.
we're looking at the stats, and like the film doesn't lie, and they've played some pretty bad offenses and let them have their way. But statistically, they're in the top half of a lot of categories. And looking at the roster, like, it's hard not to be a homer, but is this like a top 15 defense? Like the defensive line we thought should be a top maybe even 5 defensive line. You got Darius Slay out there, and then Avonte Maddox has been coming on. I love to see that, but do we really have a depth chart that indicates that we should be in the top 10?
But didn't they
Linebackers,
trade for
safeties,
like?
dog, man. It's linebackers or safeties. It's
But
pretty.
Exactly.
They also traded for all these young cornerbacks who are inactive every week. Like we have three rookie cornerbacks that have not touched the field.
I like Josiah
Navy Green.
Scott. If Avonte Maddox didn't play as well as he did, I feel like we see more Josiah Scott. I think he's a nice.
Yeah.
And
pickup.
he had buzz in camp too, right? Like what happened to this kid?
A little bit.
But Avonte Maddox has been better than anybody could, and that was one of my biggest.
So does Gannon not get credit for that? Like, he is developing. Do we just say, okay, he's developing in spite of Jonathan Gannon, or do we say, okay, Jonathan Gannon?
Well, he's actually playing where he should be
Where he
playing on the
belongs.
inside. We
Right.
all were saying, why are y'all playing him on the outside when you know he shouldn't have been out there? And then now he's in a spot where he is. I do like his versatility, but overall, I think now you got him playing as a position of strength.
Yeah, I would just say Maddox can bounce outside once in a while, especially if you get a speedy receiver like a Russell Gage or something, someone not physically dominating. But when you don't make Slay shadow and he gets matched up with the likes of the Devontae Smiths, the DK Metcalfs, or anything like that, he's just going to get beat. And this guy had, we put a lot on this man's plate. He went from slot, which I liked him his rookie season. Then he played safety and outside. Don't forget the safety he had to play for a little bit too.
He did good at safety.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he's been throwing around, I just felt like, he's coming into his, 3rd or 4th year. He's going back to his position, and I do give him credit. Listen, I'll give JG a little credit because what was he before a DC, a defensive back coach, and he brought back the ghost of, what was the Colts DB that used to play ball for the Minnesota Vikings? He was great.
Xavier Rhodes.
He brought back the ghost of Xavier Rhodes. So I think he's a good DB coach. First of all, I just think he tried to get too cute he just tries to get too cute, and he's scared to death to get beat over the top. If you told me I get 3 quarters of a legit aggressive defense where one of these quarters or 4 quarters and one of these are going to let up a 6-yard bomb, I almost will sign up for that, because then I know at least the other ones we're going to see that aggressive mindset, and it's just been Philly. And to your point about the D-line real quick, it's been banged up, but no D-line will get at the quarterback when you play that much soft zone, because again, all the teams that wanted to go downfield, why you think Brady, Prescott, Mahomes, Tariq hit us one. They don't go deep on us, but they kill us. So they're smart. And so you can't expect your D-line to get there when the ball's out and record setting time. D-line just getting tired for no reason.
Right. I mean, Joshua has the 2nd best win rate in pass rushes, right? Like that's that stat. And
that was a freaking steal, man. He's such a steal, bro.
Yeah, it's a nice pick. That
Very
was
nice
my breakout player a couple years ago, and the fact that he's doing what he's doing, and he's got the best sack dance of the crew, I think. I mean, let's talk about Ryan. I've been calling him Ryan Kerrigan, Ryan where again? Because where is that, man? I know a different scheme, but it's I'd like to get him to show up a little bit, but
I saw him chasing. He didn't catch him, but he was chasing for sure. He's out there running.
He didn't catch him, but he was out there.
Yeah, but the crazy part is, like, there was like half the season he didn't get he had a tackle the whole half a season, like a tackle.
Yeah.
Barely.
It's crazy.
I wonder if he's texting secrets over to Washington. He's like, so this is what they're doing. You know,
Honestly, I didn't think it was a real thing, and then I forget what it was, but I read a report where it's like this is a real thing where people will sign people off opponents' practice squads and just like give them deals. Like that's, I mean, how is that not just corporate espionage? Like that's all that is. Here's
hey,
here's a $500,000 contract.
remember Mac McCain got signed by the Broncos right before,
Mhm.
and then we signed him back. We signed him right back.
There was a couple weeks there where we kept switching back someone with Washington and the Giants, just like back and forth for a bit. I think that was a couple years ago. Yeah, maybe. Like Corey Clement,
Wendell Smallwood
for everyone. Yeah, Wendell Smallwood, Corey Clement.
Yeah, I'm absolutely done with any player that play for any of the NFCs. It just doesn't work. I co-signed the Ryan Kerrigan thing. I said he got like what? He had like 3 to 5. He had 5 sacks and only playing 30-something, 38%. I said that's perfect. I said you get a Ryan Kerrigan who got a little bit of gas left. If you play him if he's playing a role where he's in every game, he ain't gonna give you that same bang for your buck. But you get him in that Chris Long role, and I was Chris Wrong. It was the Chris Wrong role. It was just bad. It was such a letdown. And then
what about Michael Gallup?
See, I'll be tempted.
I'll be tempted. I mean, he's a stud. Bro.
I don't want any Dallas money touching my money. Okay.
Michael,
I don't know. I'll take CeeDee Lamb though. I'll take CeeDee Lamb.
You're damn right. We'll take CeeDee Lamb.
He's their best receiver already.
So you Godwin or Gallup?
Well, Godwin, but how much are you paying Godwin?
Yeah, I mean, we have the cap space to make it happen. And
not if we get Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Come on, Mike, man.
Just get it at it.
That's why you don't get Russell, you get Godwin.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But and
you get some damn safeties in here.
In return, Jalen has to start going through his reads and making things happen. That's all I ask for. Just make it happen, bro.
Fair.
That's fair, right? I think that's fair.
Well, no in the next 4 games, I guess.
It's easier said than done, though.
I'm not going to agree with you because I'm just going to change your mind next week, so it doesn't matter.
You know what, bro? We're not having a podcast next week now. But I
think Jalen, man. Jalen has this. He could write the ship, man. Like
you talking about Rager, or
he can shut. He can. Oh, whoa! Hurts. I don't see. Rager is a different. That's a whole podcast alone, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful not to tweet it because his dad's gonna tweet it back.
No, yeah, his dad's up in DMs now. Like, it's just crazy, man. There,
you would think,
and the fans are just.
Man, I still got faith. I may be the only one left, but like it just sucks.
I don't think he's a bad player. He's just not. He's not fit for what the hell we're doing in Philly. Justin Jefferson was fit for what the hell we were doing in Philly, then and now. But
it doesn't seem like they even have a plan. They don't. No. It doesn't seem like they have a plan.
What to do with him. No, he's that odd kid that you the last pick in dodgeball that you don't know, like you don't want on your team because you don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
He's that kind of guy that goes to like Detroit or like a terrible team, and he's like a fantasy monster. Like just everything.
If you paired him up with a Green Bay and see the thing is like if you have an accurate quarterback with a younger wide receiver, then the throws are more accurate. Like so if you have a young quarterback with young wide receivers who are still learning how to get separation, that's not the best recipe. Like we know Devontae is a route god, and Devontae can get open. Like the younger guys can't get open, and then you have a quarterback who's, has to be a little bit more accurate. It's not a great recipe. You know what I mean?
For disaster.
But even the attitude is just like look at him returning punts, bro. Yeah, like the dude was calling for a fair catch so late he smacked the ball. That's what it was. He called for a late fair catch, smacked the ball, and I'll give him the 20-yard return after it. But just the absolute.
That's him in a nutshell, though, eh?
Exactly.
That's him in a nutshell. He makes this a boneheaded play, bad attitude, and then he turns it into a 20-yard gain. It's like that. That's what's making me not want to give up on him because I feel like there is something there, and I feel like
is it weird that there's something there with both Jalen's that we all want to happen?
It must be in the name. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an upside there that we want to see.
Yeah.
But the question is, will we see it?
I liked him coming out of TCU. I'm not over Jefferson, of course. I liked him.
Yeah, no, I was all Jefferson.
Yeah, true that. But I'm saying in the offseason, once the pick is already cemented, Philadelphia Eagle next to his name, I did my due diligence. I was calling for him to be the punt returner when Greg Ward was averaging 3 yards a punt return. And then he comes in here, runs it back against the Packers. We never see him again. I thought it was going to be nice. And then it's just been a failure there. It's been a failure in a bunch of departments. And I do look at his attributes, right? Like, he's one of them little guys who does got a nice vertical. You've seen the training camp catch, right? Lights,
He's
camera,
tough
action.
too. He's tough.
And I thought he was going to play good in the slot because he is a little stocky, right? You get the ball in his hands in space because let's go back to the draft real quick. When it was yards after the catch, he came in a second to CeeDee Lamb. So get the ball in his hands, let it work. And we tried to do that. He went negative.
Terrible quarterback.
He doesn't play in a slot much in this offense, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's mostly like Devontae and Quez.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to his, when they asked him on the podium what his game was modeled after, and he said Deebo Samuel and Tyreek Hill, who are like, they got gadget ability, they got the yak ability. You put them in motion, like it's frustrating to see them not utilize him. Like, I mean, and he could take the jet sweeps. And I was saying that you could implement those jet sweeps, and they've been doing some of those jet sweeps where they just having him go in motion, even though he's not getting the ball. Then you set him up for screens, set him up for like a pass or whatever. Because he saw that pass that he caught for a touchdown against the Cowboys at the one-on-one practices with the Jets. He scored a touchdown on the same exact play. So utilize him to his strengths. You get those quick touches. And that's where, as a wide receiver, I mean, I played wide receiver. If your confidence is low, just give me a hitch.
Yeah.
Let me give me a screen. Let me get my hands on it. So if you haven't touched the ball in a long time, and especially the guy who's in his head right now, like, that's
and
what
my
I
think about it is like Deebo Samuel, right? Tyreek Hill, they don't run towards defenders. That's Jalen Reagor's bread and butter for some weird reason. If you look at his highlights, you can actually look this up. Jalen Reagor runs towards the defenders more than anybody. Like, he actually runs directly towards them opposed to avoiding them.
I like the attitude, though. That's the attitude.
He's not Jordan Howard out here. Like, you got to make people miss.
Well, he was super excited when he did that one. No, just last week when he made that little step back move. He got 1 extra yards. He was 1 extra yard. He was smiling. Yeah. I wish it translated to something different. I do think he's pretty good. It just sucks that the last 5 screens we gave him, it was like -16. So I think that just breaks his confidence. And that's really not him. It's the blocking. But the jet sweeps in that Chargers game, right? He was explosive with that. I think he scored he didn't score a touchdown. He got down to like the half yard line, and then he got hurt. He's like, I ain't doing that again.
I mean, and going off what Gayle saying is like, if you're playing receiver and your confidence is low, and then all your team is giving you is jet sweeps, you're not feeling like much of a receiver anymore. You're feeling like a gadget player. And if you're a first round pick that's already got a chip on his shoulder, that can't feel too good. I know they're trying to manufacture touches, but if I'm a defensive coordinator, like that's all he's getting these days. He's not being schemed into the passing game. I think he's been kind of mislabeled as this deep threat. And talking about Deebo Samuel, like, he does get deep. He does get on defense. Is that what he does? Is that like is that his claim to fame? Like, I think that he's better when you're hitting slants and posts over the middle, and you're hitting him in those pockets. Now, what does Jalen Hurts not do? Hit posts, right? Yeah. There's no chance, right? So I think if they really want to get Jalen Reagor going, they can. Now, this late in the season, when it's evaluation season for the quarterback, the coach, I don't know.
Playoff.
Like, you don't have, exactly. You don't have time for that in your scheme. So at this point, he's a punt returner.
Yeah, let me just say this, though, and this is my one negative thing I'm going to say about Hurts, right? So you have receivers that lack confidence, right? Even Devontae, last time you seen him in the game with Gardner Minshew, he got, a couple targets. He caught he caught a pass for like 15 yards. Prior to that, he doesn't get targeted on the whole fourth quarter drive. He throws his helmet down, right? So you're trying to get these guys touches, right? Just say Jalen Hurts just say he drops back 25 times. 5 of them dropbacks are runs, right? So now it's really only 20 actual throws. Even if let's give him a good percentage. Say he completes 15 out of he drops back 25 times. He throws it 21 times. He completes 15 or 16. So now 16 completions, and that's a good efficiency rating, right? if we go down to 14, and then it gets scary because who's catching them? If Dallas Goedert only gets 3, that's not much, but you got to feed Dallas. So 3 to Dallas, 3 to just let's say 3, 6, 9. I mean, everybody gets 3 catches, right? So it's not even a lot of touches the wide receivers can get if we are playing this run heavy offense. And it got to be frustrating, especially when you feel like in your head, you hear the noise, but you look at yourself in the mirror or you go home and watch YouTube. Like, I caught that. I caught that. To know that you want to show it, you can't show it. And then the time that's thrown to you, it's like, you're thinking about it, right? I said this on my last video. I got some yelling at me for it, right? I think Jalen Hurts was doing better in the pocket, but the throw to Quez Watkins, right? The throw that he avoided a rush, stepped up. There was so much green grass because the last guy was chasing one of the running backs. That's a Jalen Hurts run, and that's a run that I'm cheering because Jalen Hurts gets 25 plus on that, right? Now we got the same 25 with a dot to Quez, but now you got the same 25. Your quarterback feels good, not just because he ran it, because he threw it, and your wide receiver just got confidence, right? So it's like you can say that same 25 yards rushing, it's going to be exciting as the fan, but it's like you just could have had that same chunk and killed 2 birds with one stone, and had both the wide receiver and the quarterback gain confidence from that. And so, you can catch as many jugs from the jug machine or whatever, but when it's game time and it's third quarter and you haven't got a target, then you get your first target and it's dropped because you want to get yak. You're thinking about going, it's tough. And, I just want to beat Washington. Sorry about that.
No, you made a great point.
I'm not trying to defend Jalen, though. They're going to come for me. Yeah. That's why I'm going to do it on your show. I can't do it on my show. Don't tell nobody.
It's a safe space.
I might just troll your show in the comments now.
Defend Jalen Rager. They're really out for anybody that says anything good about Jalen Rager.
I've been saying good things about Greg Ward up until like week 6, so it's a safe space.
I mean, hey, Greg Ward, man, he's a forgotten dude. He gets an opportunity and then he drops the ball. You're like, when they forget about you, every single play becomes like my career is on the line. 100%. Everything is just like magnified. So like, I do think Jalen Rager is like, if I drop this punt, if I drop this, if I like,
you can see it.
The way he's running around. Yeah, the way he's running around there is like totally in his head. So,
well, hopefully they have a good bye week. Hopefully they kind of I wish I could take a picture of Gayle's frozen picture right now. Hopefully they have a good time to just relax their minds. But one thing, first and foremost, we do want to appreciate you guys for coming on. Gayle, my hats to you, and thank you for hosting me this weekend and inviting me out, man. I had a great time, even though I was down by a little bit, and I appreciate you guys. You guys do a hell of a job. Like, seriously, I mean, if you guys are at the link, you guys have to go to the 4th and Jawn tailgate because these guys do a fantastic job. They look out for Eagles fans, and they treat you to a good time. I mean, what's better than free beer and free food? I feel like you really can't beat that.
And Eagles win.
And the Eagles win. Like,
yeah. And that's a trifecta right there. And
just don't
Jennifer
have
Slay
Gayle
says she's
DJ.
coming to the next one. What's that?
There you go. I said, just don't have Gayle DJ.
Hey man, I can't be passing out beer, food, and DJing. Like the DJ, once the DJ gets set up, I'm good. Like I'm trying to like not do everything, but yeah, man. Hey, you guys are all welcome. Hey, Mike, I know you're close, man. You're only an hour and something away. We're gonna get you out of that studio.
You're closer to me, bro. I'm an hour 20. And but Mike, thank you for coming on, bro. Seriously, you do a hell of a job. You and Brunson do a hell of a job. I told Brunson I can't call him Lord Brunson, and he's cool with that. But you guys do a phenomenal
I can't either.
job,
It's
man.
LB. It's LB.
Yeah. I stick with that, bro. I can't do the Lord part.
Yeah, it's too much.
But shout out to the grind that you guys been doing on YouTube as well.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean,
mention Tick Pick.
Oh, sorry. I gotta mention Tick Pick now. So make sure you guys hit the link down below to get your Eagles tickets so you can go to the 4th and Jawn tailgate. On top of getting these Eagles tickets, you don't gotta pay no extra fees for these great seats. I mean, what's better than getting seats for cheap? I mean, nothing, if you ask me.
It's a beautiful
hit the link
segue,
below.
Brian. I appreciate that.
I feel like that's really good. Hit the link below. Get the tickets. Go to the 4th of Jawn tailgate. Mike said he's already going to be there when you buy the tickets. That's already part of the ticket purchase. So like when you buy the tickets, if you buy 4 tickets, Morgan said he's traveling from Canada and smuggling himself
And
through
Gayle's
the border
gonna
because he's
DJ
not taking a
too.
COVID test. If you buy 6 tickets, I might show up well rested. But
And the
6
Eagles
tickets,
automatically win. So
and the Eagles automatically win. Like you don't have to worry about that. It's an automatic
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Listen, bro, you asked me. You said I was 1-1. I had to say, no, I'm 2-0, bro.
This guy, like, he's holding his, like, he's like, I'm undefeated as an Eagle fan. Like, all right.
Just saying, bro. I mean,
And come to the next one because we need you.
yeah, we
We
definitely
need
do,
you, bro. We
Man,
need you.
Brian's gonna go like to the third
He's
game. He's gonna storm the locker room with the team. He's like, "Oh yeah,
He's gonna go. He's not gonna go to Washington. I don't even want to say what happens if he does that. They'll go to the Giants and we'll get our revenge. He's like, I told you, 3-0.
3-0. That's what it is.
We got to start raising money online for you to go to more games, I guess, Brian.
Just talk to wifey. I know just dinner tomorrow. Just like, look, they guys on the pod said I got to go to the next game. It just is what it is.
I'm in demand right now, babe. I'm in demand.
You better go
People
wash
are
the
calling my
dishes,
name.
Brian.
I got a dishwasher, babe. It's okay. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you for coming on. Always a good time. But yeah, on another note, this is Flipping the Birds. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Morgan Burkett. And we'll see you guys next week when we preview the Washington game. Should be
It's
going,
gonna be a
right?
big one.
All right. See you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Go Birds.
Yes, sir.